Picture yourself in some of the most beautiful scenery in the world. Snow-covered Scandinavian forests, sun-baked African wilderness, South American mountains stretching into the clouds. Now imagine blasting through it all in a two-man guided missile. 1 ton of steel and alloy, fuel and air, flesh and bone. 2 litres, 300 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. The sound of rocks smashing off the bodywork, the turbo screeching under the bonnet, your heart pounding in your chest. This is the World Rally Championship. 14 rounds on 4 continents, one of the toughest of all motorsport competitions. To beat your rivals, first you have to beat the clock. In a race against time and the elements, every second counts. On gravel and asphalt, sand and snow, from sub-zero to searing heat, you're pushed to the limit and beyond. How do you sum it all up? WRC. The Monte-Carlo Rally is the first event in the World Rally Championship calendar and combines glamour and prestige with unforgiving alpine roads. One of the reasons it's so special is the sense of history behind an event first run almost a century ago. Another is the fact that a stage can start on dry tarmac and finish on thick snow. To win Monte-Carlo means something special, even to World Rally Championship veterans. No surprise that the Swedish Rally has so far only been won by Scandinavians. Temperatures dropped to -30, and even with the WRC car's 4-wheel drive, studded tyres are needed to cope with the lack of grip. Some stages are even held on frozen lakes. But despite all this, Sweden is still one of the fastest rallies in the whole World Championship. Rally of 10,000 corners, Corsica has more bends than any other WRC event. The roads that cross the Mediterranean island often appear to be no more than a chain of blind bends linked together. The surface is rough asphalt that's punishing on the tyres and sometimes on the drivers. There are also sheer mountain drops and slippery gravel. Corsica adds up to a challenge for cars and drivers. WRC in the form of Rallye Catalunya. It was originally run on both gravel and tarmac, but these days the rough stuff has been left behind, making it one of the few all-asphalt rallies left. Latin drivers tend to fare well on these fast roads around Lloret de Mar. But it's a popular event with all the teams and the passionate Spanish spectators. The slowest WRC event is also one of the toughest. It's staged over hard, punishing roads where the rocky surface pushes cars to the limit. But Cyprus is slow with speeds through the Troodos Mountains, around half those of other rallies. That makes it harder, as the low speeds make overheating a real problem. Cyprus may be slow, but it's an endurance test for cars and drivers. Time to swap Europe for the only World Rally Championship round in South America. The Rally of Argentina is based high up in the Andes around the town of Córdoba. The rally covers a whole range of different types of roads, from twisty mountain passes high up in the Andes to fast, open tracks out in the Pampas. This hugely popular event draws massive crowds who will come to enjoy the spectacle that's Rally Argentina. The Acropolis Rally has the honour of being the toughest of them all. The roads through the Greek mountains are little more than rocks in places, and temperatures can be higher than even in Kenya. For the cars and drivers, just finishing is a major achievement. Only a country so full of ancient history could have created a legend like the Acropolis Rally. Many, the safari is the ultimate rally. As well as rough terrain and searing heat, competitors must also avoid wild animals that stray across their path. The teams even hire helicopters to scare off any four-legged hazards. The Kenyan event crisscrosses the equator and is one of the few rallies where the cars are driven absolutely flat out. It's as tough as they come. Its name translates to Great Race, but in the language of WRC, the Rally of Finland means simply speed. This is the fastest gravel rally of them all. But the cars often take to the air thanks to the flowing bumps or yumps that are driven over at full speed. Finland's a country that breeds top-class rally drivers, so it's no wonder that few outsiders ever win here. For 2002, the World Rally Championship welcomes Germany into its ranks for the very first time. Rally Deutschland is based around Trier in western Germany and runs mainly on asphalt. It includes stages in the wine region of the Moselle Valley, where drivers must face narrow roads and tight corners. This is a welcome addition to the World Rally Championship. The WRC now heads for southern Europe and the resort of San Remo on the Italian Riviera. It's similar to Corsica, with the drivers tackling rough asphalt roads along narrow mountain passes. There's little margin for error, with hard rock on one side and steep drops on the other. San Remo may be a holiday resort, but the World Rally Championship drivers won't be relaxing just yet. New Zealand has some of the best gravel roads in the world, perfect for a round of the World Rally Championship. The stages take the teams through dense forests and out into the lush countryside of the North Island. This is a true driver's rally with high speed and high action. New Zealand is home to some of the most taxing driving in the whole World Championship. Australia is one of the most popular rounds of the World Rally Championship. It's partly down to the way the organisers have turned it into such a spectacle. The driving is unique as the forest roads around Perth are covered in tiny balls of gravel. They make the surface as slippery as ice and the cars need special tyres to fight for grip. No one can afford to slip up in Australia. Great Britain may be 70 years old, but it's still capable of catching out the unwary as it winds through the Welsh forests. The biggest challenge is often the British weather. If or when it turns bad, drivers can be faced with rain, mud, fog, snow, and yet more mud. The last round of the WRC often decides who wears the champion's crown.